Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new series we're going to be running on the channel, at least for a little while. This is XCom Chimera Squad. Now this snuck up on me actually quite well. I only found out about it a couple of weeks ago, completely out of left field and perfectly timed for the end of the Phoenix Point playthrough that we were doing. So we're going to be running this for a little bit before we go back to Phoenix Point. Don't worry, we will be going back, but if you're into turn-based games, if you've been missing XCOM and the very stylized art that went along with XCOM and XCOM 2, don't worry because this will give you your fix. I've done the first mission or so just so I can get an idea of how it plays, and the premise itself is generally relatively simple. There's a bunch of different breach starts to missions where you position your troops and then you go through and you have a moment to survey and deal with any immediate threats as you enter new areas, and then it goes into a turn-based style mission system as the old XCOM 2 would. You've got a certain number of troops which you can upgrade, gain levels, gain skills as time goes on, but you'll get to see all of that as we go through. So we're going to do a normal playthrough. I'm not going to jump into expert because I don't quite fancy having my arse handed to me, at least until we've had a chance to see what some of the game has to offer. I would normally check Iron Man, but because this is a brand new game, it only came out today, I know that there are problems with saves. With any game that launches, there's inevitably a problem, so I'm going to leave that off just in case we need to roll back for whatever reason. I will, however, have the tutorial on, so basically I'm keeping it all exactly normal. So we're having the tutorial on so we can teach some of the mechanics, and we'll have subtitles on for those of you that are hard of hearing or for when I inevitably talk over things. Let's get in there.
2 minutes out.
Hey, Godmother. Is this like the old days? XCOM swooping in and taking it to the bad guys?
I wouldn't know. I spent most of the war training resistance networks.
Like mine. And for your many, long years of service.
Watch it.
XCOM attaches you to an untested squad and pushes it into the field before it's ready. How is this not like the old days?
I'm just happy to be here. I missed out during the war. Wish I could have pulled my weight.
For which side, exactly?
I find that very hurtful.
Sure thing, Advent.
We are through the checkpoint.
I was never actually Advent.
But they were fitting you for a blocky helmet.
Stow it, both of you. We're here. 3-1 PD gave us the all clear. Grab your gear and prepare to move in. Whisper, what's your status?
And what's Verge's ETA?
Comms are working, obviously. Verge is en route.
How? Verge can't drive.
He hailed a cab.
To a hostage situation?
Focus. Whisper, any surprises in the next room?
A handful of hostiles, unaware of your approach.
Chimera Squad, take positions. Prep for breach.
Alright, so a little bit of history. We are based after the war, after the aliens have been repelled, and humanity and the aliens are living in a bit of a fragile peace. City 31, which is where we are based, is the shining example of how everything can work perfectly when it works. And in this case, everything is of course working, except there's some kind of hostage situation going on. So we've got a single breach point in this. If you have multiples, they'll be spaced out along here. It tells us what's going to happen if we go in. So any successful shots on enemies will crit. I'm going to put Cherub up first. He does have a shield. We're probably not going to use it because I'm way too aggressive. Now, as we tab through the enemies during breach, we can tell which ones are surprised and which ones are not. We've got a 100% chance to hit all of them, so we're going to go for the not surprised one first. And kasplat. Now we can take out the others. Shotgun blast, and last but not least, Terminal takes out the final.
I am Mayor Nightingale.
Is that our hostage?
Welcome to City 31's Memorial Museum.
It's just a recording.
As I often say, the lessons from our past inform the present.
Blah, blah, blah. History.
Focus.
So now we enter the turn-by-turn phase. We've got a timeline up here. This tells us when people are going to move and act. It's pretty straightforward. Person number 1 goes, then person number 2, and so on and so forth down the list. We've got 2 enemies over here. I think let's send Cherub up. We're not going to be able to get in a flanking position, but we can at least take a decent shot on this one at the back.
Engaging target.
Oh man, you are a bad shot. Alright, so with 2 actions remaining, let's come to here and we'll just start peppering him with bullets. Or, you know, one shell.
You see this?
Huh. Interesting.
Uh-oh.
Contact!
Clear.
That's a neat ability.
Verge? What took you so long?
Had to unpack a breaching charge.
Good man.
Not exactly.
You know what I mean.
I always do.
So creepy. Don't ever change.
Verge, form up. Any hostiles in the next room?
Yes, I can feel them.
Alright, so our resident pectoid is our psionic. Let's move on to the next breaching point. So, much as the previous one, we've got multiple breach points and we can specify the order that we want to actually go through them in. This is important if you want to make sure that you clear a certain area before doing another. Sometimes you can see enemies through windows and things, but in this case, there's not a great deal that we can do. So, let's do the door up the top first. I think this is a tough call. Alright, let's send Godmother in with the shotgun first. The last unit through this entrance does +3 damage, so we'll have let's do Cherub with his pistol, because the pistol's a bit pants. Down here, we'll go for Terminal and Verge. Yeah, that's fine.
Breach! Breach!
So we're doing up
Go
top
time.
first. Even though the animation does it the wrong way round. Right, this one's alerted. That one's surprised. That one's alerted. Okay, let's take out the one up top. Shotgun in the face. You may as well go for the 80% chance down there. Nice! Lots of damage through the cover. Ooh, we actually have a proper hostile, so we're going to want them gone. And down here, we've got one alerted and 2 others. We'll go for the one that we've got 100% chance to hit on. That's pretty solid. With only 2 troops left, they're going to be hard pushed to do anything worthwhile. He's hunkered down. Because he wasn't surprised, he's actually had the opportunity to do something. Alright. So gradually it's introducing us to the mechanics. We've done shooting, we've done breaching. Now we've got weapon abilities and subduing and things like that. With our next moving troop, Godmother, we want to take out their number 2. That's going to kind of ensure that we don't get shot. We could subdue the enemy. If we subdue the enemy, we'll effectively be hitting them with the butt of the gun. And we might have a chance to capture them at the end. But subduing only does 2 or 3 damage, so it's a bit of a risk. We'll give it a go. Let's give it a go. Yeah, he's going to get to do something. He's going to shoot us. It's going to be bad. I'm a bad commander. Ha, he missed. He's a bad trooper. Don't worry, Godmother. I completely had everything in hand. Alright, so we've got 2 actions before the next guy moves. So we're going to do a charged bash on this. Even if we only do 2 damage, with this charged bash we'll do 3. But even if we were to only do 2, we would still
I made the arrest.
we would still have time to follow up, and we'll get the last capture over here.
Another caller for the medic.
Subduing, I think, is something that should have been in the original one. The ability to just knock people out, it makes
Set up the
a
breaching
lot
charge.
of sense. You shouldn't
I do
need
like to make
specific
an
stun
entrance.
weapons. Okay. And there are some breach points that can only be dealt with special breaching charges. In this case, Cherub has one. After that, we'll send Virgin next, then Godmother, and then Terminal. We'll do it in this order because Birch has got a little levitation ability, which we might be able to do.
Hostage confirmed in the next room.
We need more than that.
3-1 PD has a live feed. Patching through.
If you surrender, I will advocate leniency.
Enough. This exhibit, it is about XCom's role in our liberation.
I see you read the placard.
It doesn't say how they went soft and got weak.
What?
Now, it's up to us to light the spark.
I'll light your
He's holding a
spark.
detonator.
Go, now!
How's this for an entrance?
I love how Verge is just like standing there like don't care about explosions. Alright, looks like no one is aggressive, so we're going to want to do maximum damage. 1 down. 2 down, that looked like it only just winged him. Alright, this is going to get a little bit more dangerous. Missed. 3 down, that's not bad. So
Mayor Nightingale, I'll protect you.
the 2 that were on alert. Oh
Containing
dear.
target.
Terminal, stabilize him.
Okay.
On it.
Verge, with me. Protect the mayor.
Confirmed.
So he just did 10 damage to us, which wouldn't happen, except this is a tutorial to show us how we're going to deal with stabilizing. So to stabilize, we would do the stabilize ability, which would actually move us over and we'd save him. But the other way we can stabilize him is by killing everyone. So I think that's an entirely more plausible, useful situation to be in. We could do Battle Madness and Stun, or we could just move in and shoot this guy. Now, this is not the one that's about to move. But it's okay. We're not going to be dealing with any form of morale or anything here. It's just going to be maximum damage. And that means shotgun. Although this is a brilliant opportunity for me to demonstrate the way I like shotguns. So shotguns, point blank, 75% chance. He's got defense because of hunkering down. Defense doesn't really help if someone's doing like a full double barrel blast. And on this side, yeah, we're gonna head round and give this guy a peppering. Let's do it from up here.
Moving. Cover me.
So
Be quick about it.
we're in high cover, and also we're flanking the target, and we're in close range. It's a pretty good chance to hit. 5 damage, not enough to kill him because of that armor. It's shooting at the mayor. Of course, he's shooting at the mayor. So Cherub is still bleeding out. That's going to be a problem, but I'm not too worried about it. We'll just step in and then finish this guy off. We could have tried to capture him, but
Cherub, are you still with us?
Yeah, I think so. Only thing injured is my pride.
And your diaphragm. And a few ribs.
None of this should have happened.
Most people say thank you.
I'm grateful, of course. But these people don't have the capability for any of this.
Explain.
they're
I read
dead.
their threat assessment.
A month ago, these insurgents were all talk and no capability. The greatest threat they posed was to bottles of alcohol.
Why tell us? Why now?
City 31 shows the world how humans, hybrids, and aliens can keep a lasting peace. I'm the public face of this. Tonight, someone wanted what I represent to go up in flames.
We're not in town for local intrigue.
I know, but right now you're the only ones I'm certain are fighting for that same peace. Can I count on your support?
Yes, ma'am.
I wonder if that was a statue of Bradford there. Anyway, Sheriff's been gravely wounded. Nothing we could have done about that. This is the point where I get to explain about the capturing. So we will have 3 different kinds of resources that I'm aware of at the start. There is Illyrium, there is cash in the form of credits, and then there is intel. For every captured enemy you get, it adds 20% chance that you will earn 20 intel. So there's a maximum amount of intel you can get per mission, but the more enemies you capture, the more chance you have of actually getting that. And intel is used for various missions and things as time goes on.
Package delivered to 31 PD.
She truly believes what she says.
That's why she's in charge.
Not too shabby for our first official mission.
Don't do that.
Don't do what?
Celebrate before a mission is complete. It's
bad luck.
Ooh.
Tonight, Mayor Nightingale perished in an explosion at City 31's Memorial Museum. The identity of her assailants is unknown at this time. The City Council asks citizens to remain...
So she gets vaporized the same day XCom sends Chimera Squad to our city? You hear that voice in your head? That's me telling you to wake up!
Despite opposition, Mayor Nightingale's deciding vote brought the Reclamation Agency to the city. Without her support, Chimera Squad's continued presence is an open question.
Welcome home, Chimera Squad. The director wants to speak with us.
thanks for getting the mayor killed. Also, you're fired.
That's not helpful.
You're right. I'm sorry.
I'll patch the call through when you're ready.
I followed your action at the museum and its aftermath.
Director Kelly, I take full responsibility for what happened.
Stop. I sent you to City 31 because I believed you were ready. Tonight, you surpassed my expectations.
Well, that's
31
good.
PD requested help within 3 hours of your arrival in the city. You answered immediately. Going in, you were under-equipped and down an agent. You adapted, as we trained you to do. And let's not forget, you rescued the mayor. You delivered her to safety as the city requested. Don't blame yourself for an outcome you couldn't control. Instead, let's focus on what's next.
I set up the map table. Ready when you are.
Head over there. I'll hold.
Okay, so we're going to have a bunch of different areas become available. The city map is the first one we get to see.
31. During Advent's occupation, the city was a fortress supporting an active starport. 5 years after XCom won the war, it's home to aliens, hybrids, and humans alike. There's new industry, self-government, and local agriculture to support the varied populations. Against all odds, this city thrived after the war. There were no retributive attacks.
Until tonight.
We don't know that. Not yet. But we can find out. 31 PD requested our help sifting through evidence at the Memorial Museum. They lost good officers today. Give them what they need and see what we can learn.
Okay, so the map will show us different missions that are available. In this case, we've only got one mission that we can do. And this is kind of like a forced time move on. So 31 PD needs help pouring through the aftermath of tonight's attack. Mayor Nightingale's death has the city on edge. Let's do what we can to help. So we're going to send the APC, which will advance the day. No longer are we Thursday. So we've done what we can to aid 31 PD. Commissioner Malouf passed along her thanks for helping her officers bear the weight of this attack.
Your work with 31 PD opened a few doors. Here's what we know. A crude plasma bomb killed the mayor. The insurgents had no access to materials for that.
Does that mean they had outside help?
Most likely. There are 3 groups in City 31 with access to this kind of ordnance.
Okay, so we've got the Progeny. A loose network of human scions. Their vision for City 31's future is entirely psionic, whether the city wants it or not. We've got Grey Phoenix, an organisation of alien scavengers. They've quietly amassed the kind of weaponry reclamation is mandated to recover. So that'll be illegal arms and stuff. And an underground religious movement for hybrids. They preach salvation, but only to those who once fought XCom. So that's the Sacred Coil. That choose a faction is rather inconveniently placed. We'll go after the Progeny, I think. If anyone's going to be psychic in this place, it's going to be me.
The Progeny have a small but loyal human membership, all with psionic capability. Victims willingly hand over what the Progeny need, and then forget the whole thing. The perfect crime.
Director, these are local criminals. Isn't that 31PD's jurisdiction?
True. The Reclamation Agency supports local police, but we're also required to recover dangerous material.
From those who would do the world harm, and each of those groups is neck deep in the stuff. So what next?
Focus on a single group. Investigate, dismantle their operations, and take them down.
Meanwhile, we look for any links to the mayor's death. Either way, a dangerous organization is off the streets.
Exactly. The city wants justice for Mayor Nightingale. This is how we help them achieve it.
Okay, makes sense to me. So the investigation is going to have a bunch of different stages. Groundwork, where we learn about the faction and their methods, then different operations, which will be hidden missions that have to be revealed on the city map and then completed to knock the different factions' plans off kilter, let's say. And then we'll finally try and just stop them and end their threat to City 31 once and for all. So the Progeny, that's our one in progress. I'm assuming that the others will appear as we get to unlock them. So we need to know more about them. We've got an investigation log. Basically, we've done nothing so far. We know a little bit about them, but we've got a lot to find out. So we've got the assembly area, which is kind of like our research and development. We've got the armory, where we can pick up a new recruit, and there's another mission available on the city map. We'll go to the assembly first.
Check it out. Headquarters sent us an assembly. And with the right patterns, we can build anything. Or we could with the latest version. What you're looking at is the extremely finicky 2038 model. It'll take time to stress test our patterns, but once we have them, we're good to go.
Okay, so we've got a 3D printer, basically. We have to start with Android personnel. That takes Illyrium. Illyrium is the little lightning bolt up here. That's one of the 3 resources that I mentioned before. So we're going to get that going. We can click here to assign someone. I'm going to actually put Cherub onto this, and that will speed up the progress of our research and development. And the reason I'm going to put Cherub on there is because we're going to replace Cherub by going to the armory.
The director convinced the city council we're too understaffed to be effective. This means we can bring more agents to City 31. It's not the whole squad, not yet, but it's something.
Okay, this is a tough choice. So we've got close combat, insane blitz, melee targeting, which is interesting and cool. So if the enemy was at alert, their alert breach action is cancelled. So yeah, we'd potentially be able to take them down quickly, especially if we've got something to improve melee damage. Or we can go with Axiom, who has a massive smash, battering ram, breach, wow. Or we can go Blue Blood. I want to avoid being all human, so I think I'll go Zephyr for this, actually. Let's go massive high mobility.
Zephyr, you made it!
Yeah.
You grab a locker?
Yep.
Have everything you need?
Yeah.
Good talk.
No.
Brilliant. As the agents get more experience, we will unlock different abilities via their promotions, and that will enhance what we can actually do. Zephyr is immune to root and gains additional move action after he's crippling blow. Really nice. Okay. There are biographies that we can read to find out what our various troops did, but I'm most interested in tinting their armor. So let's actually have a look at their various loadouts. As we research more things, more options will become available. When we research, for instance, modular weapons, we'll get some like little add-on slots under here. Same for armor, different breach items. We've put Cherub over here on actually just making stuff. So let's take that breaching charge off. Can I just cancel it? There we go, cancel that. And I think we'll give that to Zephyr, because Zephyr can end up being the first person in at specific breaches like that. Pangolin Gauntlets. Okay, damage 3 to 4. That seems pretty solid. So starting over here, the shotgun, by far my favourite weapon. What I'm thinking is if we pick up tranquilizer rounds as a utility item, the shotgun becomes a very quick way of capturing people. In fact, can I do that already?
Our temporary field office has all the basics. Weapons, comms, and ammunition. Supply is where we request everything else. And as long as it's in the squad's budget, it's ours.
So this is going to cost us money. This is
get
the
a
credits.
sweet deal on combat-grade androids. I know. Everyone hates them.
Yeah, this is going to cost us credits, but I do think that this is probably worth it. So if the target would be killed, they will be rendered unconscious instead. This is basically swapping our shotgun over for beanbag rounds. And I think for the extra intel this gives us, this is going to be worth it. The other thing that I was considering was an auto key card to get through some doors, or a flashbang grenade. Let's get a flashbang grenade, and I'll save the last of our money. Do I want to save the last of our money? Yeah, I'll save the last of our money. So back to the armory. Back to the loadouts. Over here, you're getting the tranquilizer rounds. We will give you the flashbang grenade in case you can't get close enough to actually punch someone. You can still do a ranged thing. And I think that's all we want for people's equipment for now. So let's have a look at tinting. Assault. There's not a great deal of tinting we can do here. Specialist. Psionic. And Berserker, I guess? Berserker, that's better. Alright, I'm happy enough with that. And you're basically stuck on construction duty. All of these look a bit bad. Let's give you yellow. I'm still not convinced what I actually want to do with you. I mean, Charge Bash is a decent skill, but I've just never really got on with Cherub. So, we have one mission available. Let's hop on in and take a look at this. Easy difficulty, and this is to start investigating the progeny. Whisper here. I'll keep you updated on any activities requiring our attention. Speaking of which, an entire progeny front company just opened fire on 31 PD. We should check that out, right? This will give us a little bit of money.
Hostile forces need leadership to function. If authorized by the director, you may need to neutralize a hostile leader. Subduing your target is always preferred. Enemy leadership, if captured, provides valuable intel.
So, much as with previous XCom games, this is the general loadout. You can click into people to adjust their various items as we've done before, and as like more slots and things open up, they'll appear on this. It tells us a little bit about projected areas of entry and the number of encounters we can expect. So let's get on in.
31 PD asked to speak with this company's owner about his connections to the progeny. That's when his staff pulled weapons. and the police barely made it out.
Does anybody hear that buzzing? Reminds me of Advent's psionic network.
You would know better than I would. Keep your mind peeled, I guess.
Ugh. Peeled mind sounds disgusting. Okay, so we've got a side window, we've got a main door, and we've got another side window. I think I'll probably split people up a little bit. If I put the last unit through this entrance, we'll receive an extra action point. So I want Zephyr to be the last one through the main door. We'll have terminal over this side for a bit of stun, and we'll have Godmother over here, and in the middle we'll have Verge and then Zephyr. I'm going to make the main door first, and the others I don't really care about.
Time to breach.
Verge is going in fast because of the levitate ability. Okay. Surprised, 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 surprised. So we don't need to stun anyone, we can just look straight at murder. Murder! Not quite murder, but pretty close. Who do we want you to charge at? Probably the one at the back, actually. Didn't even see it happen. Over here, shotgun blast. Knocks him out. That's our first capture. And on this side... I'd say that went okay. So, the team up ability, I've not actually used it yet, but once per mission, an agent can be moved on the timeline so they take the next turn. It's shared by the entire squad, can be useful to get you out of a bind. Preparation, on the other hand, is a bit like the old hunker down. It's pretty useful for getting someone through what's going to be a really sticky situation. Okay, now our people are going in the order that we entered the area with, so it's important for us to have a look at what's going to happen. This guy is going to go next. Now, what I can do is we can use Battle Madness to make this acolyte go berserk, and he will attack his friend. And if we're lucky, because that's not in cover, it's just a straight up murder. We've still got an action left after that, so we can take a shot at him ourselves, or we could move up, or we could do something else, but shooting is cheap. Alright, now we're into close quarters with Zephyr. Disarm, disorient, stun, root. We don't actually need to do that, we can just subdue him. We've got enough damage.
Subdued hostile.
Everyone reloads automatically at the end of the first breach.
Those employees were under psionic control. It felt like Advent's psionic network.
Well, good thing we all fought Advent. Except those of us who were Advent.
I like Terminal.
Against my will. And if you push this, we'll have words.
Okay, so we've got the main door. The first unit through will get +1 armor, and all successful shots will crit. Or the security door, where there's fewer aggressive enemies and the last unit through is guaranteed to land their shot. So we'll send one person through the security door, and we'll send 3 through the main door. We'll put Zephyr in first for the +1 armor, then Verge, then Godmother. That seems reasonable. And actually, if we do the security door first, because this is a guaranteed shot, it'll potentially help us decide what the others should be.
Need me to get the door?
Alright, well, if you're in a difficult place, let's shoot you. Over on this side, fearless advance. Yeah, go for the one that's kind of most on the left. Stick to the one in the open-ish. Nice shot. And that means the final shot, which is probably going to miss, 63%. Shotgun blast. Oh yeah. That is the worst kind of assault, but it was pretty damn successful. So, because this guy was surprised, he hasn't actually had an opportunity to do anything. We do get one action before he can react. So he's likely to change position and either try and flank us or do something else nasty. If we can get into a relatively good cover position, that would be ideal. Over here, we are kind of stuck in terms of being in cover. So I think we could also try like an Overwatch. Overwatch would give us enough for when he moves. Yeah. Okay, we'll get into good cover here. And then if we Overwatch up like this, if he decides he is going to move... In fact, what's the chance to hit? Yeah, 54 is not enough. Because after he's had his move, we get everyone else to have a go. Oh, that's a shame. Well, he's popping down into cover at least. And then he's going to do a psionic suplex. What the hell is that? I think he's picking us up. Best just, you know, kill him. Well, that stopped the suplex. Go about your lives, civilians.
You're about to enter some offices. Now the owner must be holed up in there.
Okay. Agent damage likely. This one is fine. So all non-aggressive enemies guarding this entrance are surprised, and the last unit through automatically activates Overwatch. Okay, that's great. So yeah, we'll have Zephyr in first. In fact, let's send everyone through the sidewall. I'm going to want Godmother to be in last, so Terminal next and then Godmother, because I love shotguns. And if anyone's going to get the Overwatch, I would much rather it was Godmother. Right, everyone is stunned, so let's go for Fearless Advance on the furthest away person. And we can breach fire on the easiest to hit people. Okay, well, one capture. One injury.
I see the VIP. Bring the target down.
Ooh, okay. So we've got, who's moving next? You're moving next, and then number 3. So this now becomes a choice of who we go for. I think if we go for number 3 first, we could just subdue the VIP, but I think we'll clear as many of these guys out as we can. Actually, we could take this guy out. With the Overwatch here, they'll probably have to move and they'll lose another one. Whereas if we step back here, we'll get shot from that side. So yeah, number 7 is going out next. Come from this angle so you're in a bit of cover.
Demolishing.
Okay, didn't quite kill him, but we can actually use momentum to get somewhere else if we wanted. No, that's not terrible. All right, let's go there. It's going to take a while to get used to that whole momentum thing. Hey! That's a big fat no. There's the Overwatch. Oh! Okay, time to start using them against each other. So, Battle Madness on this one.
Have they passed? She of many wounds.
Brilliant. And the next one is Stupor, which will stun them for 1 or 2 actions. If it's just 1, they'll still get to do something. If it's 2, they'll lose their entire turn. Yeah, they're going to lose their entire turn. So that's really good for us. Okay, that means we've got an opportunity to start doing some damage. Just trying to work out where's going to be best for positioning. If we go to here, we can get a blast on this one while it's rooted.
Into the action.
And a lot of it is just about looking where you might get those flanks. Okay, in again with the shotgun, we are going to take advantage of our massive, massive buckshot spread and go after the Thrall. The VIP is probably going to try and run somewhere, but we'll deal with them separately. Okay, we do want to subdue him, but this guy getting taken out is our next priority, so let's go after the Acolyte first.
Hostile subdued.
Knocked him out. And that means it's just you, mate.
Another caller for the medic.
Perfect.
Get to safety.
I was an accountant. And that was as good as it could be. So with 6 captured enemies, we get 20 intel. If it had been 5, we would have got 20 intel as well. That's why I like the tranquilizers on the shotgun. It's just way too useful. But yeah, everyone made it through unharmed. I'm really quite liking Zephyr. My first playthrough, I didn't end up with Zephyr because you have a random selection of people to have a look at. But I did go a couple of missions in just to see what the general feel was, and yeah, they're very different, varied indeed. Perfect parking. I would not be able to park like that. I've got to assume that's automated. So we've got 35 credits from that and 20 intel earned from captured enemies. Aliens in your agency? Jane, what are you thinking? What is our greatest existential threat? The Elders returning. If they do, who will we need to fight them off? Everyone, I get it, I've seen the projections. But do you really think the Commander will go for this? I think the Commander has always seen the bigger picture. Transcript of the Reclamation Working Group meeting, 2037, August 25. We've finished our android personnel assembly. That's good. That means that if someone...
Progeny went after expensive assets. What's behind their sudden need for funding? They have no love for hybrids, which presumes a motive to kill the mayor. As for means, psionics could give them the ultimate insider, a member of Mayor Nightingale's protective detail.
As I was saying before the cutscene, that will allow us to replace one of our people if they get incapacitated partway during a mission. But we won't focus on that just now. So, Chimera Squad shut down a progeny front company. Reviewing the impounded data gave Reclamation a better sense of the progeny's scope and goals. And with that, that's going to be a good point for us to finish this episode off.
Against a citywide curfew. Councilor Parada spoke for the majority.
There is no need for such extreme measures. Mayor Nightingale's death is a tragedy, but to shut down the city due to fear would reject the very principles by which she lived.
3-1 PD remains on high alert throughout City 31. Commissioner Maloof released the following statement.
Every 3-1 PD officer grieves for Mayor Nightingale. Rest assured, we will bring those responsible to justice.
More on this story as it develops. This is Celio Dash with Channel 37.
Thank you, Celio. So that's going to be a good point for us to finish this episode off. We've had a couple of missions and a nice introduction to the gameplay mechanics. I'm quite enjoying it. I like the setup. I like the feel. It's a bit like XCom 2 Lite. And it definitely feels like the kind of game that you could jump into and jump out of as time progressed. But yeah, we're going to definitely run this for a while on the channel. If you have enjoyed this, be sure to give a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so, and you'll be told when the next episode goes live. Otherwise, I'll see you next time for some more Chimera Squad. See you soon.